Let's see this game. The viewer suggesting played black, and they haned, which is way too early to play a hane here. This surrounds them, but you wouldn't kill them. And more importantly, when they cut you, they can kill you. This is very, very dangerous, as you noted, and then tried to get the Sente outside to fix yourself. But even still, after you fix yourself, you're going to have to take care of two groups, right? They won't die, you have to take care of the two groups. So what to learn? It comes down to the hane. The hane happened too early. So if you hane like this and you allow a cut, it basically has to be that you're expecting to kill the cut. If you aren't expecting to kill the cut, you basically have to be expecting to kill the group. So like, if you can play this hane and you can kill the cut, that's great. Go ahead and hane. If you can play the hane and you can't kill the cut, but when you just like save it, then the group is already dead. You don't even have to spend a move to kill it, but it's just dead already. You can hane. But if it's that you can't exactly kill the outside and you can't exactly kill the inside, then you're basically taking on a big challenge to yourself to like make them weaker than they are right now. I got it. Wow. Make them weaker than they are right now, but it's not like you haven't done it yet, right? So you have to demand that you win the fight in the future, which means demand that they make mistakes in the future, right? You can't win the fight if they don't make mistakes. So really, in actual fact, that means that you're making the mistake already. If you ever play a move which requires them to make mistakes for it to work, then that means that your move is not working, you know? So after that, you went and saved yourself everywhere and saved yourself. So this is, as good as you can follow it up. Makes sense. And then white came in to approach the bottom left. They're attacking you, and you come out and attack both sides. This shape would never get played in a high-level game. We love kicking shape. This is kicking shape, right? It's very much similar to like if someone approaches the corner and kicks, right? Kicking shape. This is good for the guy extending. In the corner, it's Joseki because black hits a huge corner and white hits the side, right? So that's fair because black's direction is way better, but the shape is way better for white. So here, the shape is way better for black, but this shape is just even. So we should take the shape which is way better for black. The reason why, of course, is because if black plays here, then black can move on top of white, right? But if black plays here, then black can't move on top of white. Not really. And you didn't gain anything special for that. You just lost a movement direction for no reason. Okay, but then they pincered you, and then you couldn't attack outside very hard, but they decided not to try to surround you very hard, so then you got to run out. Go this way. Ooh, this move. That's a savvy move. Looking at a connection underneath the three stones. Probably isn't necessary here, but it's interesting. It gets the people going. I would just be running my group out randomly, somehow. Usually you'll find more safety that way. You don't actually want to use the doggy door underneath. Zichen calls these doggy doors, or he called these doggy doors, and since then I like the term very much. Where it's like, oh, I can connect under and just get like 2 points of territory. Obviously the main point is to connect under, so you're not living large, you're living in the doggy door. So then they jump and you push out, great, and then they run out and you run out. It's great, everybody's running. This running is slightly off, it should have been to the side, so the opponent calls you out on it, says, hey, you don't have a base anymore. Of course the move should have been to go and get the base directly, something like that. But you're happy to go and split like this for the moment. They can go save themselves everywhere, and then the game goes on. Yeah, the reason why this is good for white, of course, is that they can accept, then they get the territory here. You don't get to kill that, so they gain a little bit by points. Who is expected to get more points in the end should be a bit more favored to white from this flow. But you keep on running. I love that. Love the triple hane. It's great. Yeah, let's keep running. Yeah. See, when the moves were coming in, like hane underneath, these were not so fun, right? But somehow, even though this objectively is not that good, it led you to a game where it was running fight, and you're doing very well in these running fights. Black is taking great flow. Each move is to the critical area, making a lot of sense, leaving behind chances to press on this, press on this, press on this, and you can see that the power advantage is really building here from just good strategic play. So once again, we get another triple hane coming, and then another weak group to target. We use this way. Do you plan to kill the corner? Let me think about that. That's an interesting one. You cannot kill the corner. Okay, cool. That's a nice Sumego. You read it too, I guess. Well done, well done. Good reading. Of course, the reason why you cannot kill the corner is because after you play here, white can play here. If they would play this one, then now you can reduce, and because they're short liberties, it doesn't work. But after this one, cannot come in, and if you just go capture this, then they can still come back and live. Of course, you manage to capture the 2 stones on the bottom side, so it's not so bad. But, leaving it for now is making sense to say, maybe I do something else. Maybe right now you wouldn't answer. Maybe once I get weaker, it matters more. Okay, so you run out, they run out, you go and try to take a big area over here. A lot of people do this. They put their stone like on the 4th line, saying, hey, look, I got to play a side move to be comfortable. But you know you can just put the stone on the 5th line, and it's still a side move. You can just ask for more. No one's stopping you, man. I have big dreams. Why not? Why not? But a lot of the time people are like 4th and 3rd line moves. Those are special. It can be special, but that would be if white has a route to come in through here anyway. If white isn't going to come in through there anyway, then this would be more fun. You know, we can play here, and then when we block here, it's even bigger. It's quite significant. Here, like this. Nice, nice, nice. So white is saving things everywhere, and black is crushing things everywhere. Unfortunately, I got spoiled because I'd enabled AI review, and something is going to go wrong sometime soon. But I really can't imagine what, because even if white lives these very weak groups at the moment, it's not going to be something bad at the moment. So how could it go wrong? Okay, well, this is the start. We're starting to I mean, I guess this is a saving move, so it's not so bad. But it looks like we're starting to really try to take away the eyes of this, and that's always the start of the downfall. I've noticed in Q games, if someone gets an idea that eyes matter, and then the other guy starts doing well because eyes, they don't matter until they do. So yeah, this is an eye stealing move as well. It looks like we're really interested in this idea that we can attack this white group. Uh-oh. And then one off move, and they can go and collapse very quickly. So here, I suppose we should play it this way and to fix here. Oh, is it still possible to kill? Can they not just save? I think it's deserved for them. Maybe we can push through here? Okay, maybe they cannot quite save. This should be able to kill, really. H8, first mistake. Uh-oh. That means there's more coming. Uh-oh. Alright. So this one was also unnecessary, as we were talking about. Because now if you fix it this way, then certainly the weight will be easily covered. Okay. So for now, this should be quite a bit thinner on the outside, but still working. Okay, and we must push now. Uh-oh. Oh no, it is mandatory to do this one. Yeah, absolutely mandatory. So you might be like, oh, oops. Oopsies. Yeah, there it is indeed. So, yeah, oops. I died, and I was attacking, you know, I was supposed to kill him and I died. This happens to me all the time when I was in Q player. And even down player, yeah. All the time. And you can say, I should just see that connection next time. It's true. You should just see that connection next. It's within your level. I know you can do that. But also, you made yourself have to see it by saying you're going to kill him. Like, strategically speaking, if you don't say, I'm going to kill you, if at this moment you relax and instead of doing this, you just say, actually, I can win the game without killing anything. Then when the opponent answers again here, you can be like, okay, buddy, I get something else. Now, this, if you try to play this way, you probably won't get as good long term. The way that you're playing is a lot better at getting you better at the game fast, because, or like not necessarily fast, but eventually. Because this way, it's very clear when you make a mistake, and then you don't do it again next time, right? Like the game I just played, I'm very happy to play that game because my mistakes were really obvious, and I can just not do them again next time. And so I improve a lot from the game that I just played. And it's the same thing with this game, where like obviously Black can improve a lot. I know that it's just not, this is not the end form of Black's Go, but if you want to reach the end form of your Go, when you're like at the moment, when you're at a time when it's like, I just want to get the last couple stones so I can beat my rival or something like that, then figuring out when you should commit and when it's maybe better to hold off on the commit is good. When you should commit is when you would be upset if the opponent stopped you from committing when you like don't. So like you look at what happens when you don't commit, and you think, if the opponent fixes, am I sad? Am I upset? Is that like a wonderful move that if I took it, I would be wonderfully happy as white? If so, then you should go stop it. But to be honest, if you play A and white plays B, no one's upset as black. So this is not a situation where it's necessary. Any suggestion to use to see the push at K4? That's a great question. Just to be able to see it is... okay, so first of all, when they play here, you know you were just cut over here. So it's honestly quite similar to seeing the move at A, which is also something which you should be asking me, how do I see that move? It's it would help you a lot, right? If you play a thicker move outside. And maybe this one it's more clear to verify. They're both very similar, right? Like when you look at them and you verify, it's like, well, obviously that's just working, right? Like I play the move at A, and then whichever way white Ataris, I'm connected. I play the move at B after they play, the thing, and then whichever way they push, I'm connected, sort of thing. But both of them are like not answering the direct threat. The reason why you played here and the reason why you played here is because white was saying, I cut your one stone. So you're like, I defend my one stone. And then white was saying, I cut your knight's move. And you're like, I defend my knight's move. Right? And then the answers, both A and B answers are, oh, you're going to cut that. I do this other thing. And then you can't go for the knight's move. You can't go for the one stone. Right? Those things are what we call indirectly defended. So you can, whenever the opponent threatens something, you can either directly defend it, which means no, you don't get to do that thing which you said you were threatening. Or you can indirectly defend it, which means, yes, you can do that thing which you are threatening, but it's bad. And every time that you can indirectly defend, you must look at it before you directly defend. The indirect defense is almost always the solution. Almost always. Direct defending being the correct answer is actually very rare. Very, very rare. Almost every time. The only reason why you would have to direct defend is that when you indirect defend, there is no meaningful area that you can control, which you would have liked to control, that you wouldn't be able to control with just let me find a situation where you cannot indirectly defend. Let's say, like, for example, when they cut here, you must extend. This is a direct defense, but they were saying they were going to kill you. If you would not do this, if you would say, well, I'm going to make it so that your Atari is bad, then that means, I don't know, maybe you play something like this, and you say, you can Atari, but that's not so meaningful because I've gotten stronger over here, so if you try and make yourself really thick, you won't be able to beat it up, that sort of thing. The problem is just that no one cares about this area that much, right? So in this case, when this happens, right, you ask for the bottom side, and then or you say, you can have the bottom side, I'm going to get this other thing, and then they just say, okay, you go get that. When I control this thing that's happening, I control more. I control better what's happening. So direct defense is necessary then in situations where that is the key area, and there's no reason why any other area would really matter. Then that's a good sign that you would want to direct defend rather than indirect defend. But in most situations, especially when it's about cuts, right? Actually, a cutting point is not the main one and only task that you're doing. That's just a component of the position, right? The overall position is I'm trying to kill him, in this case, or I'm trying to defend myself, or whatever you're trying to do. The cutting point is just a component of that. So whenever the opponent says, hey, I have a threat to a component of this fight, to some part of it, then almost always the answer is, I control the overall fight as much as possible with my next move. And so I also look at the component. That component that you had a real threat. You're going to capture my 1-stone. I control that component. But I also control the meaningful part, right? And in this case, the meaningful part is I restrict you. And similarly, after this one, the meaningful part here is I restrict you, right? So rather than play something like this one and then allow this and here, so then they can live, that's why we have to play only this is the only indirect defense that works. It means the cutting point is a component of the move that I've played, but it is not the feature. It's not the main thing that I'm doing. The main thing that I'm doing is I'm restricting you and adding pressure to the cutting point area without necessarily saying I direct defend the threats that you had, right? That language is almost always correct. Almost always correct. Yeah? Does it make sense? So anytime from now on, when you see the opponent say, I threaten a component, instead of saying, I defend the component, or fighting them for the component as hard as possible, you say, I must indirect defend all components if possible. So is there any way to treat that thing that you're threatening as a component of my fight and do an overarching thing? Yeah. And then that's how you can always find moves like K4, like this one. Yeah. It's helpful? Great. Go fight it out. Enjoy. I guess this game largely comes down to that. After this, it should be very hard to make anything happen. For black here, yeah, I mean you try, but not much available. Hello, Nevermore. I do not speak actually any languages other than English. I took Latin in high school. Which I don't regret, actually, even though I can't speak other languages. It's playing on the other side, you often forget to check that. If you think it's playing on the other side, I understand what you're talking about. Yeah. Where it's like, there's a threat here, but you can play on the other side sometimes and it fixes it. I recommend that you be careful. If you think of moves, if you ever think of a technique that you know as doing it on the other side or the reverse of what's normal or something like that, it will never be normal to you. So it's really important to have a mental model where the correct thing is normal. The correct move in Go is never unnatural. It's always natural for a reason. It might be not as natural as something else that you see, right? But you shouldn't learn a Tetsuji and think, oh, in this is the case where you do the opposite of the natural move. Because what happens is, eventually you learn that. And then you get the situation again, and your unconscious has told you the natural move is the correct answer. But then you know, when I learned this shape, I need to do the opposite of the natural. And then you do the wrong move. Even though your unconscious told you the right move, you're like, I need to do the opposite of that. And then you go do the wrong move. Right? So if you want to learn it, like long term, properly, you can't ever tell yourself, I do the opposite of what's natural. It always has to be, I do what's natural. It's maybe on the opposite side of this thing or on the opposite side of that thing. But, K4 here, it's not... the way I view it, it's not on the opposite side of these. It's to play here is the correct, and then these things are components of that, It's a nice game. Thanks for suggesting. Oh, and Elitist, thanks for the follow. Appreciate it. And Dre? Something. It was very helpful. I'm glad. On the locks. Oh, thanks for the sub, man. Much appreciated. You don't have to do that, but thank you. Thank you. All right, it's time for me to go to bed. Good night, everybody. Rest well. And have a good one. I'll see you probably tomorrow. Maybe tomorrow I'll even try to stream like a long time. It depends. Either I stream a long time or do YouTube stuff. Anyway, I'm excited. Go. Thank you all for watching. Bye-bye.